There is a new AI art generator on the block, and it is called Jasper AI Art. Jasper is originally an AI writing tool, and a very good one at that. So I was intrigued to explore what their AI art generator was like. In this video, I'm going to run through how to use Jasper and give you my verdict on how it compares to the other AI generators on the market. So on the Jasper website, we can have a little look through their gallery of images that their AI art generator has created. And you can see that the general tone and vibe of this generator is realistic with a hint of almost a bokeh photography, which is having a lot of depth of field in their realistic. The tones and color palettes that seem to be created are extremely broad and almost rainbow-like in their incarnation. So we can jump into a few of the different styles that are available inside of Jasper and see how it performs. It's created an interesting Art Deco style Indiana Jones poster. So you can see that there is an abundant freedom to create varied images inside of Jasper Art. But the question is how easy is it to use, and how does it compare to Midjourney and our other friends? So the first time you come into Jasper Art, it will look like this. It will offer you a walkthrough of some of the features and explains how it works. And we'll go through this together so you can understand with me. First of all, the image prompt goes in here, and they're calling an image description. They're giving you suggestions to add keywords. Now, the difference in this UI compared to our other AI art generators is that it has sort of drop downs underneath where you can select other parameters to create the image. And for me, my instinct on this is that they have done it because the limitations of their technology is such that it cannot handle some of the more natural language that you might put into, for example, Midjourney or DALL 2. And so to get the best out of their technology, you need to specifically define what it is you want to change about the image, be it style, be it the medium, be it the mood, be any of those other parameters. And so here, they're asking you to put in different styles. You click a drop down, you have options from 3D renders, abstract, anime, art deco. Somewhat limited collection of styles, I would say there, if they're the only ones that you can select, but I'm sure you might be able to add others in the keywords. So let's select one here to show you what's going on. Illustration. Medium, we're gonna leave it on none, see what happens. Telling me to pick one. I must pick one. Charcoal. No, I don't want charcoal. Charcoal is too bland for me. Some watercolor painting. Everyone loves watercolors. So now it will create your image. One thing that's very interesting about Jasper is that it creates the image very quickly compared to Midjourney. So you can see that we just press create, and pretty much in under 10 seconds, you will have an image generated in Jasper. You don't get the step-by-step updates that you can get in Midjourney, but it does work very quickly, and you get 4 outputs here. So this is a woman half tiger 3D render, colorful photorealistic, but it's also an illustration and a watercolor painting. And this is what it's come out with. And you can see that the outputs are interesting, intriguing, abstract, and they fit the prompt. But if you're looking to create pieces of art, I think for the artistic value and the aesthetic entertainment, it does not compare to Midjourney, is my initial thoughts. But it has done a pretty good job. It's worth to bear in mind also that the subscription plan on Jasper is $20 a month, and I understand that gives you unlimited amounts of art that you can generate. Now, it does not look like there's an upscale feature available inside of Jasper, and when you download an image, it comes out at 512 by 512 pixels, which is a little bit limited, I would have to say. And there does not appear to be any other possibilities to change the aspect ratio for now. But with an entry level price of $20, you might forgive it that. So I've gone ahead and inputted a prompt into Jasper. I've also done the same with 3 other AI art generators, which are Stable Diffusion, DALL 2, and Midjourney. And we're going to look at how they all compare on the same prompt. So the prompt is Portrait of an Elf Woman Queen Photorealistic. And this is the best image that has been generated, in my opinion, by Jasper. The 4 that it came out with were these 4. This one looks certainly a little bit androgynous. This one has some sort of unnecessary framing. This one for me has too much of an illustrated harsh line feel. Something I've been noticing that some of the art generators do is they add unnecessary harsh outlines, perhaps to make up for their inability to create effective textures and shadowing. So let's have a look at how these all compare one by one. So this one on the right is Jasper, and these are the 4 other generators that I talked to. The 4th is actually the additional photorealistic algorithm that Midjourney has been trialing, which I'm a huge fan of. So for me, if I was to rank these overall, I would definitely still say that Midjourney is the winner, especially the photorealistic algorithm that they have. And I would also say that Midjourney's standard algorithm would just about make it into second place. But if we look at them side by side, I think that there is a good case for saying that Jasper is an equal to Midjourney in many ways here. The image that it has outputted is aesthetic. It has got a consistent coherence to the proportions of the face. The color palette it has selected is restricted and tonal in its variety. I love the way that it's concentrated just on greens and blues here, which is an analogous color palette. And specifically one thing that it's doing very well, which Midjourney can fail at, is creating some more lifelike, realistic eyes. So that is definitely a tick in the Jasper box. And comparing it, say, to DALL-E 2, I would say it outshines DALL-E 2 here. That the overall feel of the image has a greater aesthetic. It feels more engaging, more lifelike. It's definitely drawing me in, especially the eyes. I mean, the eyes make any piece, and here it has done wonders. And comparing to Stable Diffusion, I have to say that there is no competition. Absolutely not. We're going to also do another quick test, and we're going to see how the prompt futuristic tree houses compares to the other generators that we have. So we'll stick this in here and I'll show you how it compares. Now, as we can see, I would say architectural studies and prompts more like this is a closer run battle between the AI art generators. Stable Diffusion definitely performs a lot better here, and the images coming out of our new friend Jasper are of a comparable quality. In my experience, I've struggled to get such good architectural studies coming out of DALL-E 2, and there is a nice balance between creativity and quality coming out of Jasper. There's something that makes it feel to me a little bit like an early 2000s PlayStation game. I mean, the graphics are of that quality for me. It certainly reminds me of some of the San Andreas graphics, perhaps, from GTA. And if we compare it to the photorealism algorithm on Midjourney, I would have to say that for me, there is still no competition. If you look at how the reflections of the trees are refracted inside of the Midjourney photo, I mean, this is a really intelligent visual rendering, where we compare here that some of the shadows and the reflections in the glass and on the surfaces here in Jasper just feel a little bit augmented, a little bit synthetic to me. And of course, the original Midjourney algorithm creates a very illustrative feel, and the DALL-E 2 image has created a more unusual rendering of a pinstriped tree. So my overall verdict on Jasper is that for a price point of $20 a month and unlimited art, it does offer a great entry into creating your own AI pieces. However, comparing it to what I think is the leader on the market, Midjourney, it fails to live up to some of the better features that you can get within Midjourney. Firstly, the photorealistic feel of Midjourney's latest algorithms. Secondly, the attention to detail, including textures, shadowing, and outlining of subjects. And finally, the selection of colors to create an aesthetic appeal is lacking in this software. However, I understand that it's a new release, they are working on it, and it will evolve. I would love to see some new features added, including changing aspect ratio and perhaps a different approach to the UI. I'm not feeling how that they offer these quite restricted level of drop-downs to create your art. It feels more like a proof of concept than a finalized product. But I have to say that I am extremely impressed with the Jasper Writing AI tool. It's something I have been using regularly and found extremely useful, and in my opinion, has been the best in the market compared to the other AI writers. So they obviously have a great team behind the product. I'll be interested to see where this one goes. Let me know what you think of Jasper in the comments. And if you're interested in learning more about Midjourney, I have created an online course which will run you through all of the features so you can get the best out of that revolutionary new tool. If you do decide to buy the course, let me know how you find it. And thanks for supporting the channel. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a delightful day.